Hello, everyone. In today's video I will be talking about Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. More precisely about the topic whether Jill Valentine was prepared for the zombie infection or not. Now, as you know, most people, even YouTubers, claim that Jill was not prepared in the original because she had normal clothes. That is entirely an assumption. The only reason Jill has those clothes is due to director Shinji Mikami refusing to eroticize or portray women as submissive in Resident Evil. Now that I have established the purpose of this video, let's watch the scenes in the original Resident Evil 3 that just prove that.
It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City. A city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070.
What are they?
It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City. A city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction.
If you paid attention to the video, you'd notice that Jill mentions the fact as to how the Umbrella Corporation holds control over the city, and no one dares to fight them back. This already proves the fact that Umbrella's deeds were already known to the people in charge of Raccoon City.
I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing.
In this segment Jill clearly mentions the fact about how the people who represented the justice in Raccoon City were threatened via use of force to run their experiments in this place, and in turn, the Raccoon Police Department acted like cowards.
It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
notice how the weather is presented in the introduction? It is not dark, like it is during the game, but it is sunny. Just look at the previous segment. And here she is carrying a gun with herself.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070. Over.
What are they?
Another point to make is that in the original game during the cutscenes there are even more zombies compared to the remake during the beginning of the game. In the original we only see 4 civilians, while in the remake we actually see quite a few people running here and there. Which proves that in the original the infection already began when Jill was narrating the story, while in the remake it was simply the beginning or the middle of the infection.
It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
Did you notice how the last words during the game perfectly line up with those said in the introduction? Why am I pointing that out? Because the black screen text makes reference to the current situation of the game. Fans never stopped and questioned this segment. Sure, a lot might have taken it as campy or goofy, or just for the sake of action. But this right here brings up a good point about the beginning of the game. What caused the explosion? If you take a closer look at it, you can actually see that Jill is spinning during the explosion. That means she must have had something to do with it. Even more so, if you watch it very carefully, you can actually see that those 2 zombies are on fire. That means Jill must have thrown a grenade at them or a grenade substitute, and the shock simply threw her out. The reason why there are flames behind her is due to the fact that air in contact with fire increases its area of burning, especially when an explosion occurs. Also, the explosion does not occur at the windows, but rather on the other side of the building where there is actually a door. The depiction of the dead man, the broken cars, the fire around the apartment indicates the fact that the infection is already present in the game. This could also indicate the fact that the apartment Jill comes out from is not even her own apartment at all.
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive.
Did you notice that her narration alludes to the fact that the monsters have overtaken the city during the daylight, while in the remake it actually happens during the night? What I am trying to say is that, after she encountered the zombies in the first level, she came to the conclusion at the end of it, that they have already overtaken the city. I think this is enough proof that Jill Valentine from the original game was definitely ready to fight right from the beginning. And it also shows the fact that we are introduced to her as someone who is already in the middle of the action. Thank you for watching. Until then, a happy day to everyone.